What's up, mighty boys and girls, it's your Ranger Boy here, and welcome to something I actually didn't really plan on. Out of curiosity, I wanted to see how the Japanese Pokemon fans react to Pokemon journeys, since I always had the impression that Japanese people are more on the positive side of the world, and that they don't really involve themselves too much with things like harsh criticism or the usual social media cancel culture. So, what did I do? I went to Amazon Japan, searched for the Pokemon anime, and there you have the entire Pokemon anime collection. Sadly, only available in Japan. And of course, we have the obvious things like X, Y, and Diamond and Pearl being the highest rated, Sun and Moon with a really decent score, and Black and White being the lowest rated. Well, let's say the former lowest rated Pokemon series of all time, because the new lowest rated champion of the world is Pokemon Journeys. I'm really sorry for my language, but what the fuck? An average rating of 2.6, 34% 5-star ratings against 51% 1-star reviews? What is going on? So, as you can see, the results are rather shocking. And after seeing those ratings, I decided to make a little video after reading every review from January 2021 until now. Because I want to find out whether or not the complaints and worries of the Japanese fandom are as similar, if not the same, as the ones I constantly read from the Western audiences. So, if you want to know my opinion, then grab some popcorn, grab some cookies, and let's do this! But before we dive a little deeper into the actual complaints, let's talk about both the 5-star reviews and the 1-star reviews, and how legit both actually are. Don't get me wrong here, both rating formats have some comments that are actual BS. For example, this user right here gives Pokemon Journeys 5 stars because Infernape returned to the anime. He rated the entire quality of the anime because of a nostalgia return. Okay, but on the other side of the coin, we also have some nonsense like this. It feels like my youth is over. It's a shock, 1 star. And then there's another comment who just comments go, with the topic being go, and then 1 star. And that's basically it. So, as you can see, both sides have some questionable arguments, but what I found really interesting in regards of the full star ratings, at least in the year of 2021, is that most are from parents, and that they rate the anime very highly because it makes their children very happy. And not only that, but them expressing their happiness is often followed up by their utter disbelief and shock of how many people don't like what they love so much. I saw many comments from these parents saying things like they don't understand the low rating because in their opinion it's a good series, and they also didn't understand the major complaints surrounding Go, which we will talk about later. On the one hand, I do understand why parents do feel like that, since they are not that invested into the franchise like we are. In fact, Pokemon Journeys is actually a lot of those parents' first ever encounter with the Pokemon franchise, and therefore they only can judge what they see in front of them. And for them and their families, Pokemon Journeys is a media which they enjoy a lot. And you know what? More power to them, because I like Pokemon Journeys as well. But on the other hand, if you are a parent, you kinda have to ask yourself, if you are not that invested into the franchise, if you don't know any past generation beforehand, and if Pokemon Journeys is truly your very first experience with the Pokemon anime, is your opinion actually valid? Because not only the comments from these Japanese parents, but also most of the 5-star reviews of 2021 are mostly based on emotions, with a lot of fluff, but in actuality with no real reasoning or logical arguments backing up their high ratings. And the Japanese community expresses that also. On Amazon, you can actually rate how helpful a review is, and the most common pattern and difference I saw between 1-star and 5-star is that nearly every 5-star review has been received very poorly in regards of how helpful these actually were for the Japanese fans, while the 1-star review, as harsh and reality slapping they more than often were, they were deemed way more helpful than the 5-star reviews, nearly always receiving a double-digit number in likes. And again, I do understand why the 5 stars are received so poorly, because they are emotional fluff pieces with no real substance. But let me show you some 5-star reviews that I personally found really good. For example, this one right here, where the person talks about that Pokemon Journeys is seemingly more aimed towards the Pokemon Go audience, which, you know, is true, and that Pokemon Journeys is more true to the origins of the Pokemon franchise, aka it started with Satoshi Tajiri, the creator of Pokemon, collecting bugs. And in my opinion, this right here is one of the sadly very few good 5-star reviews. Another really great one I saw is this one right here, especially the part where he talks about that even though many people complain about Go, he sees Go as one of the options a fan can relate to. And he then talks about that each character represents an aspect of Pokemon that speaks to a specific fan, and how that fan can relate to that specific character's story and personality. In the case of this reviewer, he relates more to Koharu, because her worries about her own future makes him relate to her more. And I gotta say it, I love this guy right here, because he basically stated why Koharu is the best character in Journeys. But again, these rather detailed and logical high ratings are so sparse and so rare, and sadly are overflooded with comments from parents and hollow reviewers. I'm actually not surprised that not only are there less 5-star reviews, but also that every one of them in the year of 2021 is received very poorly. Now that we have talked enough about the 5 stars, let's finally talk about the 1-star reviews. And therefore let's talk about the main problem that Japanese Pokemon anime fans have with Pokemon Journeys. Number 1. Overfishing. While reading throughout every comment of the year of 2021, this is one of the words that came a dozen of times when it comes to the reviews, overfishing. And we don't have to talk about this one, because it's something that is constantly brought up to my attention, and even is something that I myself tackled in the past numerous times, that for a long period of time, Go was nothing else than a Pokemon Go ad on 2 legs. Someone who only caught one Pokemon after another, sometimes even 2 in one hit, without any care for it, without showing even the slightest effort of getting to know the Pokemon's character or even bonding with the Pokemon, and instead he only cared about filling his Pokedex. And here are some Japanese fans who express this overfishing problem. Go is overfishing and robbing Pokemon. Uncomfortable content. And by the way, it's kind of funny that the topic of this review is Pokemon Hunter G. I gotta admit, I kind of laughed a little bit. The first few stories were portrayed well, such as the difference between Satoshi and Go's ideas, but it was sad to see from the time when Go got started. Go can also get Pokemon living in herd without any care. Got Pokemon immediately to follow. Is it brainwashing? The act that is said to be overfishing may certainly be used to fill the Pokedex in the game, but because it is a game, it's hard to catch a Pokemon. Living in the world of Anipoke with a game sensation, get it and leave it in the Sakuragi Park. No digging in for wanting to know all the Pokemon. It's boring compared to the previous work. The Sun and Moon of the previous work was a heartwarming work watching with laughters and tears, so I expected that this work would be an interesting work that is not inferior to the previous work. But if you look at it, the overfishing of Go throwing the ball without fighting anyway is uncomfortable. So these were just some of the comments in regards of Pokemon Journeys in the year of 2021. Let's tackle the second problem the Japanese people have, which is Go overshadowing Ash, and also Koharu. The second biggest complaint of the Japanese fandom is that Go seems to get so much more spotlight, and in their opinion, even preferential treatment. That is a term I also read a lot. But anyway, to them it appears that both Ash and Koharu get easily overshadowed by Go, with Go getting most, followed up by Ash getting a little bit, and Koharu getting the least. It was the W protagonist of Satoshi and Go, which is biased in the frequency of the character's success, but I feel that Satoshi's shadow is thin recently. Is it the same whether you are or not? Looks like, but I also expect battle scenes that cannot be seen in the games in anime poker, so it's a pity that Ash doesn't play an active part and you can't see it much. And Gokun is really on a business trip, but I don't know what I want to do after all. Or just the overfishing scenes doesn't fall into the slap. I don't want to hate characters, and it's not bad, but I wonder if it's a screenplay problem. I want you to make Satoshi stand out more. Even though Pokemon started with Satoshi, I don't know why only Go is active or catch legends. Satoshi, who has been working hard so far, seems to be cute. There are many Pokemon who has collected many series so far, and Satoshi is working hard, but Satoshi is less active until the worst. I'm a little bit disappointed. I think it's hard to accept 2 protagonists. I wonder if you don't see more Satoshi from now on, because the protagonist has been over for many years. XY, it was still good for some time, but suddenly Satoshi comes out, sub-feeling, and there's also an interesting story, but why is it? There's also a story that says Satoshi has to go out there. There are times and I really want Satoshi to be more active. What about Koharu-chan, who is supposed to be the heroine, is Air. Still like the Anipoke series after all, so I watched it while suffering up to 60 episodes. But Go still does not change anything, or rather escalates more and more. Koharu and Satoshi have a decent conversation only about a couple of degrees among the 60 episodes we've seen. Even if you have Go and Satoshi, the only thing you call for is Go. Complaint number 3. Pokemon Journeys has an unclear message, story and screenplay. This is actually one of the interesting ones, because sometimes many of the Western fans, including myself sometimes, can't really tell what exactly the story of Pokemon Journeys is. And one excuse I heard is that maybe there's an error in translation. But now we have native speaking Pokemon anime fans here, and even they don't understand the story. They don't understand the story that Journeys wants to tell, they don't understand the message that Journeys wants to provide, and even more than that, they don't understand why Journey is structured in such a confusing way. There are also interesting times, but I feel that the content is thin. Is it a complete story? A piece that insults Pokemon fans. I can't have everything. It's a terrible piece that you would not want to see this crap twice without children. I thought it was a story of encounters, bonds and growth, but it turned into a dream story of overfishing and dishonesty. Looks like it was fine. It's just a personal impression. Honestly, the impression is that I'm not sure where I'm headed is big. Go, no matter how Satoshi is treated. Grant Go too much in criticism, opinion of any medium. Past characters, including Satoshi, are too cold. Opinions are scattered. But take a look at the whole story of this work. If you look through the quality of each story is very low, regardless of the preferential cold treatment of individual characters. So I just thought that I'm not used to many things yet, and I expected that even if it was rough, it would get better and more. I thought I was going to watch and evaluate it for years, but recently it has become rough for amateur eyes, so the evaluation is the lowest. Additions, I don't know what I want to do because various meanings are mixed so as to organize. I do not know the direction of progress in the work of this work. I don't know the theme of this work. I don't know the motive of this work. And to me, again, this point is really interesting because I really thought that maybe it's just the Western audience who doesn't really understand the true message of Pokemon Journeys. But it seems like that even native-speaking people don't understand the true motive of Pokemon Journeys. God damn it. Let's talk about number 4, the treatment of Ash and his Pokemon. Another major complaint is that these native fans don't like how Ash has been treated, from his looks, his overall character portrayal, until the way his Pokemon are treated, and how even those Pokemon get shoved aside easily. There are almost no stories and there are many useless daily routines, so few Pokemon on hand come out. Gengar has been so bad to deal with. Lucario doesn't come out at all lately either. If you want Go to be the main thing, you can do a spin-off or something. Koharu also doesn't need it, she's honestly air. The lowest crap in the history of Anipoke. We absolutely do not recommend watching these animes to fans of the past. First of all characters that appeared in the past Anipoke are eaten by new characters. Legendary Pokemon treatment is also the lowest ever. Satoshi also became a victim of the poison fangs of the present staff. Cool Satoshi is no longer anywhere. It is no exaggeration to say that the time of Diamond and Pearl and XY is as different as heaven and earth. The other protagonist, LOL, Go, is particularly frustrating. It is the main character of the so-called Anipoke world. The attractions such as this effort, growth is also not particularly good, but it has been made by no means. The significance of Koharu's existence is also a great question. There are usually few in turn, so I'm not interested in Pokemon. Personality also sticks to the nose and is not something that I like very much. Another last aspect I want to present you guys is number 5, fans feel very uncomfortable with Pokemon Journeys, but especially they feel very uncomfortable with Go. Besides the whole overfishing and overshadowing Ash argument, there's one thing a lot of these fans have in common with each other. They feel some sort of discomfort every time Go appears on the screen. What is so uncomfortable about Go? Well, in their opinion, it's everything. From his looks, the way he's animated, and some even concentrate a little bit too much on the way his lips are sometimes animated. His character, his behavior, his story, everything. It's kinda an irony that there are many parents with 5-star reviews praising Journeys and how it makes them feel comfortable and happy, while on the other side the hardcore fans feel unhappy and also feel very uncomfortable with Pokemon Journeys, but especially with Go. So what is my personal opinion on everything mentioned in this video? For the most part, I have to agree with the 1-star reviews. I'm not saying that every one of those were perfect, because some of them were pretty harsh and sometimes very unreasonable. But for the most part of my research, the majority of the Japanese Pokemon anime fans not only stated their displeasement, but they did so in detail while trying to explain why exactly they are not happy with Pokemon Journeys. At the same time, I saw most of the 5-star reviews as very hollow comments with barely, if any, kind of substance or logic. Those were really not that helpful, but at the end of the day, it's good. that the reviews are structured like this. Because this shows that people who give 1 stars don't do that because for the sake of hate, but because they want to express their love and worries for the franchise. And no matter what anyone tells you, criticism is not hate, and sometimes, like shown in this video, expresses more love and dedication to the product compared to just blindingly loving something. Because that blind love sometimes is even more damaging than the hate. And for that I say, sometimes the thing you love the most needs some criticism to get better. Anyway guys, I really hope you enjoyed this rather interesting video. What is your opinion on the feeling of the Japanese community towards Pokemon Journeys? Tell me. And just like always, I see you guys in the comments down below. Bye guys!